A cheating wife. She took the children and property, but I destroyed her. I used to believe my life was perfect. Maybe that was my biggest mistake, believing in perfection. My wife, Anna, and I had built everything together: a house in the suburbs, 2 beautiful kids, and a comfortable life. I worked tirelessly to provide for us, and Anna played the devoted wife, a role she performed with chilling perfection. The first crack appeared subtly, like a hairline fracture in glass. She started staying out late, vague about where she was going. "Just drinks with the girls," she'd say with that soft smile, the one that used to make me melt. But something felt off. One night, curiosity turned into suspicion. I checked our shared bank account and noticed several large withdrawals. Thousands, gone. I confronted her, and she laughed it off. "I'm investing in something for us," she said, brushing past me like I was paranoid. But the truth never stays buried. 2 weeks later, I came home early from work to an empty house. My kids, gone. Their toys, clothes, everything, vanished. My heart pounded as I checked my phone. A single message from Anna. "I'm taking the kids. You'll hear from my lawyer soon." A chill ran down my spine. I called her, no answer. I called the police, but they told me it was a domestic dispute, and that she had every right to take the kids if no custody agreement was in place. Then I checked the safe in my office. The deed to their house, missing. Every legal document, every important paper, gone. She had planned this. That night, I sat in the house I thought was mine, drowning in silence. My entire world had been ripped away in a single moment. But what Anna didn't know was that I wasn't going to take this lying down. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? My wife, no, my enemy, had stolen my children, my home, and my future in one calculated move. But if she thought I'd roll over and accept it, she had no idea who she was dealing with. The next morning, I went straight to a lawyer. I laid out everything: the sudden withdrawals, the missing documents, the text message. He listened carefully, nodding, but when he spoke, his words felt like a punch to the gut. "Your wife filed a restraining order against you. Effective immediately." I froze. "What?" "She claims you're emotionally unstable and a danger to the children." My hands clenched into fists. This wasn't just about divorce or custody, this was war. And I was already losing. I went to my bank to check my finances. My worst fears were confirmed: Anna had drained our joint account. The only money left was in my personal savings, which I had barely touched over the years. But there was one thing she hadn't counted on: I had a separate, hidden account. A rainy day fund I never told her about. By the time I returned home, or what was left of it, I found an official-looking envelope taped to the door. Court summons. I ripped it open. Anna was suing for full custody, claiming I was financially irresponsible and emotionally abusive. Lies. Every word was a carefully crafted lie. But then, at the very bottom of the paperwork, something caught my eye. A name. Michael Grayson. The lawyer she had hired. I knew that name. And as soon as I remembered why, the pieces of the puzzle started clicking into place. Anna wasn't working alone. Michael Grayson. The name hit me like a freight train. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the court papers, my mind racing. Grayson wasn't just some high-powered divorce attorney, he was Anna's old college boyfriend. The one she swore meant nothing. The one she claimed had disappeared from her life years ago. She had been planning this for a long time. I grabbed my phone and searched for him online. His firm was one of the most ruthless in the city, specializing in high-net-worth divorces. The kind that leave the other party with nothing. It made sense now. The secret withdrawals. The missing documents. The way she suddenly grew distant months ago. This wasn't a knee-jerk decision, this was premeditated. I needed proof. I drove to my office, logged into my work computer, and pulled up our home security footage. Anna didn't know I had a separate cloud backup. If she had taken the kids and the documents, maybe she had left something behind. I scrolled through days of footage. At first, nothing. Just the usual, Anna playing with the kids, me coming home late from work. But then, 2 weeks ago, I saw it. A black Mercedes pulling into my driveway. A man stepping out. Michael Grayson. I watched as Anna greeted him with a kiss. Not on the cheek. Not as an old friend. A real kiss. Passionate. Familiar. Rage boiled in my veins, but I forced myself to stay calm. This was what I needed. Evidence. They walked inside, hand in hand. And then, 2 hours later, they left together. I rewound the footage. 2 hours. That was no business meeting. She wasn't just stealing my kids and my home. She had been sleeping with her lawyer. A divorce lawyer with a personal grudge against me. I clenched my jaw. They thought they had won. They had no idea I was just getting started. I spent the rest of the night gathering evidence. I copied the security footage, printed out the suspicious bank transactions, and made duplicates of everything. If Anna and Grayson thought they had boxed me in, they were wrong. By morning, I had a plan. First, I met with my lawyer, Mark, an old friend from college who specialized in family law. I laid out everything, Anna's secret withdrawals, the missing documents, and, most importantly, the security footage. Mark's eyes narrowed as he watched the video. She's having an affair with her own attorney. That's a massive ethical violation. Exactly, I said. Can we use it? Oh, we're going to use it, he replied, smirking. Judges don't like when lawyers sleep with their clients while handling a divorce case. Grayson could get disbarred. I felt a surge of satisfaction. But this was just the beginning. Next, I reached out to a private investigator. I needed to know everything about Grayson, his finances, his history, his weaknesses. If he wanted to play dirty, I'd make sure he regretted it. While waiting for the investigator's report, I made my first real move. I filed an emergency motion to freeze all joint assets. Anna had stolen money from our account, but she hadn't drained everything. By the end of the day, the court approved my request. She wouldn't be able to touch another cent. That night, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Nice try. You're still going to lose. Grayson. I smiled. If he was texting me, that meant he was worried. Good. This was far from over. The next morning, I woke up to chaos. My phone was flooded with missed calls from my lawyer, Mark. When I finally answered, his voice was tense. Anna just filed a motion for an emergency restraining order. She's claiming you threatened her and the kids. I exhaled slowly, gripping my phone. Based on what? She submitted emails, messages supposedly from you, full of threats. But here's the problem, Mark paused. I checked the metadata. They were sent from an IP address that isn't yours. My heartbeat slowed. Anna had forged evidence against me. She wasn't just trying to take the kids, she was trying to destroy me completely. Can we prove it's fake? I asked. Mark hesitated. We can challenge it, but judges take these allegations seriously. We'll need concrete proof. I clenched my jaw. Fine. If Anna wanted to play dirty, so would I. I called my private investigator, Scott. Find out everything on Grayson. Affairs, debts, skeletons in his closet. I don't care what it is, I want leverage. 2 hours later, Scott called back. You're going to love this, he said. Grayson has a wife. I froze. What? Yeah. Her name's Vanessa. And guess what? She has no idea he's sleeping with Anna. A slow grin spread across my face. This was the break I needed. Anna and Grayson thought they had all the power. They had no idea I was about to burn their world to the ground. I wasted no time. If Grayson had a wife, she needed to know exactly what kind of man she was married to. I tracked down Vanessa Grayson's number. Scott, my investigator, had already done the legwork. My fingers hovered over my phone for a moment before I hit call. Hello. Her voice was calm, unaware. Vanessa, my name is Daniel Carter. We don't know each other, but I need to tell you something about your husband. A pause. What about Michael? He's having an affair, I said, keeping my tone steady. With my wife. Silence. Then, a sharp inhale. I don't believe you. I figured you'd say that, I replied. So I'll let you see for yourself. I sent her the security footage of Michael and Anna kissing in my driveway. 2 hours in my house. The proof was undeniable. Less than a minute after I sent it, my phone rang. Vanessa's voice was shaking, with rage. How long, she demanded. I don't know exactly. But I do know this isn't just an affair, it's a setup. He's using Anna to steal my children, my home, and everything I worked for. A long, bitter silence. Then, a whisper, that son of a bitch. She hung up. I didn't know what she was going to do, but I knew one thing: Michael Grayson's world was about to explode. I sat back, exhaling for the first time in days. This was just the beginning. Anna and Grayson thought they had control. They had no idea how much they were about to lose. Less than 24 hours after my call to Vanessa, the fallout began. I woke up to a text from my investigator, Scott. Vanessa just filed for divorce. Grayson is bleeding. I grinned. Good. But that wasn't all. Scott had more for me. Vanessa isn't just leaving him. She's coming for everything: his house, his accounts, his reputation. Grayson was about to learn what it felt like to have his entire life ripped apart. Later that day, Mark, my lawyer, called. His voice had a sharp edge to it. Grayson withdrew from Anna's case. I sat up. You're kidding. Nope. He filed a motion to remove himself as her attorney. I let out a slow exhale. The bastard had finally realized he was in free fall. His marriage was over, and now, he was scrambling to save his career. I wasn't done yet. With Grayson gone, Anna was exposed. She thought she had an ironclad case, but without her pet lawyer pulling the strings, she was vulnerable. Wide open for the next strike. And I knew exactly what to do next. I was going to turn her own lies against her. With Grayson out of the picture, Anna was standing alone. She had built her entire plan around him, her protector, her enforcer, the man who was supposed to crush me in court. Now? She was defenseless. I met with Mark to strategize. Anna filed false evidence against me, I said. If we can prove that, we can destroy her credibility. Mark nodded. We'll subpoena the IP records from where those fake emails were sent. If we can trace them back to her, the court won't just throw out the restraining order, she could face criminal charges. That was exactly what I wanted. But I wasn't done. I reached out to Vanessa again. She had no reason to protect Grayson anymore, and I needed to know everything he had done to help Anna. We met in person this time, at a quiet cafe. She looked exhausted, but determined. I found something you'll want to see, she said, sliding a USB drive across the table. Michael kept records of all his cases, including Anna's. He was helping her move money into a separate account. I plugged the USB into my laptop right then and there. Bank statements. Transfers Anna had hidden from the court. This wasn't just deception, this was fraud. I looked up at Vanessa. You just handed me the weapon to end her. She smirked. Then use it. I left that cafe knowing one thing: Anna's days of winning were over. I was about to tear her life apart. The moment I had enough evidence, I moved quickly. Mark wasted no time filing motions with the court. We presented everything: the forged emails, the hidden bank accounts, and the proof that Grayson had helped Anna siphon money before filing for divorce. 2 days later, I got a call from Mark. His voice was almost amused. Anna's in trouble. I sat up. How bad? The judge revoked the restraining order against you. But that's not all, he also ordered a full forensic audit of her finances. I smiled. She's going to lose everything. She already is, Mark said. I have a contact at the DA's office. They are reviewing the fraudulent evidence she submitted. If they decide to move forward, Anna could be facing criminal charges. I leaned back, satisfaction washing over me. But I wasn't done yet. Anna had tried to steal my life. Now? I was going to make sure she had nothing left. And the next time she saw me in court, I would be the one taking everything from her. Anna must have sensed the walls closing in because, for the first time since this all started, she called me. Her name flashed on my screen, and for a moment, I considered letting it go to voicemail. But no, I wanted to hear the desperation in her voice. I answered. What do you want, Anna? There was a long pause before she spoke. We need to talk. I laughed coldly. Now you want to talk? After trying to destroy me. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she said, her voice shaky. We can fix this. Fix this? She really thought she could manipulate her way out. Are you scared? I asked. Scared that the judge is onto your fraud? That the DA might come knocking? Silence. That told me everything I needed to know. You did this to yourself, I continued. You lied. You stole. You cheated. And now? You're about to lose everything. Her voice hardened. You think you've won? I'll fight you until the end. I smirked. You don't have the money to fight anymore, Anna. Your accounts are frozen. Your lawyer abandoned you. And soon, the courts will take the kids from you, too. Her breath hitched. I had hit the nerve. I hung up. She had taken my home, my children, my money, but now I was taking it all back. And I wasn't stopping until Anna was left with nothing. Anna tried to fight. She hired a new lawyer, some desperate, second-rate attorney who was clearly overwhelmed by the mess she had created. But it was too late. The forensic audit revealed everything. The hidden accounts, the siphoned money, and the forged emails she had used to file the restraining order. The judge wasn't just angry, he was furious. In court, Anna sat across from me, her face pale as the judge read the findings aloud. You deliberately concealed assets, submitted falsified evidence, and attempted to manipulate the court. These are serious offenses. Her lawyer stammered, trying to do damage control, but the judge wasn't having it. The restraining order against Mr. Carter is hereby permanently lifted, he declared. Full custody of the children is awarded to the father. The mother will have supervised visitation, pending further review. Anna gasped. No. You can't. The judge raised a hand, silencing her. Additionally, given the fraudulent claims you submitted, I am referring this case to the district attorney's office for possible criminal charges. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I just sat there, watching her world crumble. She had played her game. She had tried to destroy me. But now? She was the one losing everything. And I wasn't finished yet. Anna was unraveling. After court, she tried to talk to me, beg me, but I walked right past her. She had no power left. No leverage. Nothing. But I wasn't done. The DA was now investigating her for fraud and perjury. If they moved forward, she could be looking at jail time. Then, the final knife twisted, her finances. Since she had stolen money from our joint account and hidden assets, the judge ordered her to pay me back. Every cent. She was broke. She called me that night. Sobbing. Please, Daniel, she whispered. I made a mistake. I don't want to lose the kids. I don't want to lose you. I laughed. Cold. Empty. You lost me the moment you betrayed me, I said. And the kids? They are staying with me. You don't deserve them. Please, she whimpered. I have nowhere to go. I let that hang in the air. Then I said the words she never thought she'd hear. Not my problem. And I hung up. Anna had destroyed our family for her own greed. Now? She was the one left with nothing. And I had everything. Anna's life collapsed in the weeks that followed. The DA officially filed charges against her: fraud, perjury, and attempted parental alienation. If convicted, she could face prison time. Her lawyer quit. Her bank accounts were empty. She was homeless. She tried to fight for supervised visitation, but the judge wasn't sympathetic. You attempted to manipulate this court and destroy your ex-husband's reputation, he said firmly. Until this case is resolved, visitation is suspended. Anna broke down in the courtroom, sobbing into her hands. I just watched. She had tried to take my children. Now she wouldn't see them at all. I walked past her as I left, pausing only long enough to whisper, was it worth it? She looked up, tears streaming down her face. But I didn't wait for an answer. I had one. Anna had gambled everything. And she had lost it all. Anna tried to reach out. Again. I ignored her calls. Her texts. The pathetic emails where she begged for another chance, for help. She had made her choices. Then, one night, she showed up at my doorstep. Disheveled. Hollow-eyed. Desperate. Please, she whispered. I have nothing left. I stared at her. The woman who had once been my wife. The woman who had tried to ruin me. And now? She was begging. You stole from me, I said, voice calm. Lied about me. Took my children and tried to destroy my life. Tears welled in her eyes. I know. I wasn't thinking. I was scared. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. You weren't scared, I said. You were greedy. You wanted everything for yourself. And now? I smiled coldly. Now you have nothing. A sob escaped her lips. I shut the door in her face. No more chances. No more mercy. Anna was finally feeling what she had wanted for me. Total. Utter. Despair. Anna disappeared after that night. No more calls. No more emails. I heard from my lawyer that she was living in a shelter, waiting for the DA's case against her to move forward. Jobless. Alone. Meanwhile, I had everything back: my kids, my home, my life. And I made damn sure she knew it. One final court date sealed her fate. She sat across from me, thinner now, her once perfect confidence shattered. The judge's ruling was final. Full custody to me. She owed me every cent she stole. No visitation until she completed court-mandated therapy. And then, the last blow, the DA was officially pursuing charges. Anna trembled as the judge spoke. This was it. The end. As I left the courtroom, I glanced back one last time. She looked at me, not with anger, not with defiance, but with fear. She had spent months trying to destroy me. Now? She was the one ruined. I stepped outside, breathing in the fresh air. Justice had been served. And I never looked back.